As an end game player, how do I beat each and every Doom Tower boss on the current rotation? How do I do it now? And how did I used to do it before I had cheat codes like Marius? Let's find out. Hey guys, SMZ here, we're back playing Raid Shadow Legends, and today we are looking at Doom Tower. The 4 Doom Tower bosses on this rotation, the Frost Spider rotation. I am going to look at each and every boss, and I'm going to look at the strategy that I used to beat these bosses today with all of the crazy charms that I have, and the strategy that I used previously as I was progressing through the game into the mid game and whatnot. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. So, I'm going to look at only the final version of these bosses. So, the last version, you face each boss 3 times. I'm only going to look at the last iteration. So, starting off, I believe it is stage 90, which is the Nether Spider. So, the Nether Spider is a nasty boss. The ads throw so many poisons at you, and you do need some kind of a cleanse. So, this is the team that I use right now, which is basically just stomping through. And how many turns do I do it? And only in 14 turns. And it's just basically about stomping through. Let me see if I can quickly showcase. Most of these fights and most of the game in general, Marius has just made it so easy that you don't really need to worry about pretty much any game mechanics, which is fun in one way but also sad in another. But it's basically just rummaging through everything. The only change or the only constant I have in here is basically Geomancer as well as Pythian, or basically any cleanse champion will do to cleanse off the poisons. Now we are just waiting for Marius to take a turn, kill them off, and we will get to the boss. So what happens at the boss is that the ads have counterattack, and they will throw poisons each time you hit them. So first thing we want to do is cleanse off the poisons because they can slowly kill off. Next thing I do is put the HP burn on the boss from Geomancer, so the damage is reflected. Now the second thing is, which I'm going to showcase in the strategy that I used to do previously, which I'm going to do in the next run, is I would want to keep these ads alive. But now I don't really care, so I'll just go for the A2, kill off the ads, boss is down, and now essentially what I'm doing is just using my node number 1, node number 2, and that should be it. That's it. So that's kind of the team I use, only 14 turns as you saw. Again, this is the Marius strategy. This is the brute force strategy. Just kill everything by hammering through them. So how I used to do this fight was basically using the combination of Geomancer and Pythian. But what I would do, and this is what I would recommend you guys doing this as well, go into the debuff section and we want heal reduction. So the champion that I use, and again, let me include the Master of all champions. The champion I used for the longest time was Venomage. He is an epic, easier to obtain. You can also use Coldheart, for example. You can also use Renegade, for example. Many champions. But I also use Ghostborn because he also brings defense down. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to use Venomage because as I was in the mid game, it was the champion I was using. So that's your heal reduction champion. Now, other than that, what you need is having a second cleanser is actually not bad. So I'm going to bring in Mithrala. And then finally, what we need to do is we want to bring in one champion to deal with the waves. Who should I bring in? Let's bring in Supreme Elhain. So let's start the fight. What you want to do is you want to save your cleanse abilities here. You want to save Geomancer's burn, and you want to save the heal reduction from Venomage. So I'm going to do this. Again, my Mithrala does a lot of damage because I have a full Great Hall and all of that jazz. And Mithrala has a high blessing as well. It might take you a little bit longer, but that's fine. Generally, the waves on the boss stage, even on Doom Tower Hard, they're a bit easier compared to the waves in the floor before or after the boss fight. So it should be generally fine. Just use your A1s and just use the abilities of the champion that you brought in as a nuker. Venomage, don't use the A3. That's important. Supreme Elhain nukes the wave. We are through to the boss. Now, on the boss, I have 2 cleansers, right? So the first cleanser, and again, on your account, and it was the case for me when I was through the mid game, I did not have enough damage to kill him that fast, right? So I had to rely on multiple cleansers. Mithrala will cleanse first, With Python, I will not cleanse yet. I will just A1 because I don't have much to cleanse off of anymore. Geomancer puts his burn on. Now, here's the cool part. We want to trigger the spiraling ads to attack us because each time they attack, there's a chance Geomancer reflects the burn. However, there's one problem. And that problem is that each time they attack, the mother spider, she heals herself. How do we stop that? We put the heal reduction. There you go. They will hit and she's losing health. She keeps losing health. Isn't this nice? Now, the crazy thing is that yes, she's losing health whenever they attack, but we are also getting poisons, and that's why you bring in the second cleanser. I will avoid AoE hits in order to not kill the spiderlings. So I'll just use. But with Geomancer, I don't mind going for the A1. That's another cool thing about Geomancer for this fight. Because you can A1, he will not hit as hard to kill the ads, but he will trigger the counterattacks, and we go doing damage once more. As you can see, we are constantly doing damage. Now, Mithrala here is a bit tricky because she hits randomly. She will trigger the ads again, and we are again doing damage. Python gets the turn. We have enough poisons. Now we go for the second cleanse. That's why we brought him in. And we just keep going. Venomage, the cool thing is, on his A1, he actually pops the poisons. And now the burn is already on. I don't need to place it again. I will just A1 once again to trigger the counterattacks one more time. There you go. Down to less than half health. Again with my nuker, just A1. Nuker, if the nuker dies at this point, completely fine. We don't need the nuker anymore. Our nuker is Geomancer. That was a lot of damage. And the boss is very low by now. Just continue A1ing. At this point, again, the burn is still on. So I will A1. If the burn had run out, I would use the burn ability back there as well. We have to keep an eye on both the burn and the heal reduction. They're both on. Boss is very low. But we should be fine. There you go. At that point, I could have revived and then Mithrala could have cleansed, but I saw the HP bar was very low. So that's how I used to do this fight when I was in the end game and I did not have cheat codes like Marius. Again, it's still pretty fast. It's just 28 turns. And again, you can set up to auto, but then this fight happens like once a month. So I also don't mind just going into the fight and manualing it every once in a while. That's what the game is. And if you're autoing everything, why are you even playing the game, right? So that is the Nether Spider. After that, we have the Scarab. So now the Scarab, the easiest strategy is this strategy. This is what I use when I'm feeling lazy, which is we just have this guy, Uros the Soul Cage, who is available from Doom Tower Hard. You can also use Toragi, for example. Any champion who throws back poisons is an easy solution. Marius is there just to clear the waves, and it's the fastest way to do it. Now, it is the fastest in terms of turns taken. It is not the fastest when it comes to the amount of time spent. For the time spent, it's actually this team that I have. This is the team that I use now. And previously, I always have relied on Uros ever since I unlocked him, and before that, Toragi. I can showcase that as well, but I do want to showcase the run of the team that I use right now. So here, Toragi is actually in a bolster set, and Septimus is actually in a destroy set. So let's start the fight and I'll showcase what I mean. So the waves, Marius will kill the waves rather easily. I'll save Newt's A2 as well. And we are getting through. Kill the waves. Okay, perfect. In one hit, Marius clears the wave. Here I'm just going to A3 into A1. I won't use the A2 yet. With Newt, I'm going to start off with an A2 in order to give the weaken. And that's where Varl comes in. Varl is such a great champion. With his A3, he will destroy a lot of shield from the boss. That's the intended way to play this boss as well. And while he's hitting, I have to Ragi to throw back the poisons on him. Now here's the destroy set that comes into play with Septimus. He has the little fear on. Hopefully it doesn't proc. It does proc, unfortunately. So we'll have to wait a little bit. The fight will get a little bit longer. Let's try for the A2. We failed. Let's go for the Blessed Bash. Ideally, Septimus should have gone right there and then. He didn't, which is causing this issue. There you go. More of the shield gone. And give the shield back from Toragi so that we don't take unnecessary counterattacks, we're killing the shield more. So Varl normally just destroys the max HP only on his A3, but I have one of the new relics with one gemstone that destroys max HP. That's why this is happening. So once the shield is coming down, now it's much easier to do damage to this guy. You saw that that hit was actually really hard. Now what we are doing is we are waiting around to Septimus. Unfortunately has decreased attack. That fear got in the way, otherwise this run would have been much faster. So Marius is doing his damage. And I mean, I could build more speed into Septimus to do it faster. That's something that I can look into, but it's generally fine. A1. And even at half the shield gone, it's enough damage that we can use the max HP hits pretty nicely. This will kill the boss already. I have done it with this same team in 18 turns as well. If Septimus just goes and kills with that first hit. So actually, let me try that. Maybe in the second run that will work out better. Marius, why can't you kill the first wave? It's because of these two war chiefs, I assume. So with the A1 one more time, and hopefully this time round, even with the fear, he can do it. Let's see. So we have, I could reduce, instead of giving the weaken, I could reduce the turn meter. That way I have a higher chance. So I go for this. Max HP gone. Now Septimus gets the hit. Shield is down significantly. I will put the shield back. Let's see if he steals. How much does he steal? Not much. He gets poisons. Shield is down a little bit. I can still smack. I will. That was a very good amount of damage. Even with the Blessed Bash. Blessed Bash has the cool thing that it decreases defense as well. And each time Septimus attacks, because of the destroy set, he's taking off the HP. So now let's place the, I mean, the weekend was already on. More max HP destroyed. And now I believe that this hit will kill him. There you go. 20 turns. It could have been even faster. I've done it in 18. So this is the run that I use currently. I have to manual it, but I don't mind once a month or so. So the team otherwise that I've used is obviously Eurost. And it's a slow run in terms of time taken, but it's a fast run when it comes to number of turns. And all you can auto this. So all you're doing is letting Marius kill the waves, and then Marius will die to the boss. Marius will still do some damage, as you can see, but he will die, and now it's a slow burn to kill all of these. So Marius will slowly die, and then the boss just keeps attacking Eurost, and the boss keeps dying, essentially. I'm not gonna torment you to watching the entirety of this fight because it takes forever in terms of time. It takes around 4 minutes or so. And again, if your Euros is not built as well, then it will take even longer. But yeah, this kit gets the job done. This is the team that I use even now, but this is the team that I have used on my way through mid game as well, when I did not have cheat codes like Marius and Note available to me. So that is the Scarab King. Now for the Magma Dragon. So this is the team I use. Again, this is just raw damage. I can just let it auto. I don't even need Arbiter on this team, to be honest. Who can I throw in instead? Let's see. I could throw in. The only thing you want to avoid is anybody who does burns, because that's an issue. I guess Arbiter is there in case of a fail safe. So let's keep it. Let's keep it the way it is. And let's start the fight. And again, it's just crazy damage. Just blowing through brute force. That's what I use right now. And this boss doesn't really require that crazy of a mechanics anyhow. And we get to the boss already very quickly. Weaken is on, which will obviously help. Defense down is on, and Acrasia goes crazy. Blessed Bash number 1. Even though it's weak affinity, Newt does not care at all. We're just waiting for one more hit from either Marius or Acrasia, and it will basically finish the job. The max HP hit, that is, and there it is. Extremely quick. 17 turns. It's even the fastest right now. Previously, how I did this fight is, yes, I would bring in my nukers. Any nuker that you can bring, just bring him. Bring some healing. Obviously, Mithrala is a very good one to bring in here. Do not bring any burners. Pythion or any healer and reviver is obviously really good in this fight. But one thing you will need to bring here is go into your debuffs once again, and this time look for provoke. You need a good provoker. So for a free to play account, Vizix is a very good option because you get her for free. She does provide the provoke. You can use Gnarlhorn, for example, because he has the cool thing with his unkillable. You can use Skoramus, who's an epic champion, for the provoke as well. But the champion that I like to use is, again, this is not an easy to obtain champion. He was my first Void legendary, which was this guy. So what this guy does is he has a provoke on both his A2 and his A3. So that he keeps the boss provoked basically all the time. And when the boss is provoked, he's not an issue. And then you can just bring in either you can bring in a reset champion like Renegade or a Kaimar to get him to do his provoke again and again. Or you can just go for raw damage. Thor can be another good option, for example. And yeah, this is kind of the team that I would run. And again, if you're man willing, just make sure that your provoke abilities are not wasted before the boss. That's literally the only thing you're looking for. So your damage dealer, your nuker, whoever that is, that can be your starter champion, that can be any champion who's built for good damage, who you're using as your main nuker in the arena. And you get to the boss. And now once you're at the boss, only thing you need to worry about is landing the provoke each and every time. So I need to basically get to my Soulless, who's my provoker here. And when will I get to my Soulless? Let's smack until we get to him. You know what? I think he's ungeared. I think he's ungeared. That's the that's the issue. But you get the gist. Once you get to him, I don't know if he'll land the provoke. He does. But I don't have him geared. That's the issue. But I would just keep the boss provoked basically all the time. And if you build him up to like 200 speed, he's perfectly fine. You just need to ensure that if he is provoked and if your champion is fast enough, you saw that with the provoke, the hit was negligible. It doesn't do a lot of damage. And if it is an issue for you, then just bring in a healer. Do not bring in any burn champions. That's the main thing. And then this fight otherwise is pretty simple. You just keep knocking away at him. And now the provoke is gone. So I land the second provoke with my second ability. He does the hit, only 6k damage, which is nothing at all. And you just essentially keep hitting. I should have brought more more damage to just make the fight go faster, to be honest, but I think it's fine. Now I'm out of my provokes. But again, if I did build him with speed, then this will not be an issue. This is still, there are a lot of poisons on him, so I think I'll still be fine. If I had more speed, then obviously he will be landing provokes already because the boss is extremely slow. Boost, the boss is almost dead, and now the Soul Reap will proc from Newt. It didn't. Interesting. Okay. Thor kills him anyways. So that's the team, kind of what I used, and I'm pretty sure Soulless does not have any gear on. Let's check. Soulless, do you have any gear on yourself? He must be in the vault. He's a defense champion. Oh, he does have gear on. He just has low speed. He's very low speed. This should be above 200, basically, for this to work. I think I'm just throwing on random leftover gear. That's why the speed is pretty low. But you need to just pump up his speed. That's all it takes. Same would be with Vizix. You need to pump up her speed. My Vizix is currently built for the Phantom Shogun. I use her as my crit damage tank, hence the 400 crit damage. But you can use basically any provoker. And then finally with the Frost Spider. So Frost Spider is the main boss. He's quite difficult in the sense that you either need an HP burn on him or a block revive champion to be brought in this team in order for him not to revive, and he has a very high accuracy requirement. The team I use currently is this team right here with all my nukers and Lydia. Lydia is there to block revive him. Now, one thing you do need to watch out with this team is, again, this is Plarium being very sneaky. For the waves leading up to the fight, Plarium has built in Torments here, so that Lydia actually goes through her passive, and passive is on a 6-turn cooldown now. So that's something you need to watch out for. If you kill the boss very fast, which this particular team will do, then that block revive is not back in time, and then it will just take forever. So if you're using this team, either slow down a little bit or instead bring a burner. Those are the two things that would really help. But otherwise, you just power through. You're killing the waves. I'm going through it a little bit slower just because I want Lydia to get back her revivability in time, and not in time for this particular torment. Hopefully, no, it's not. What is the cooldown? Let me check. Once Lydia gets her turn, Lydia, come on, can you get your turn, Lydia? She did get her turn, but I did not look because I am blind and I don't pay attention. We're through to the boss. We'll see. It's still on a 2-turn cooldown, so we still need 2 of her turns. I try to land the decreased defense weaken. Doesn't go on the boss because of one of the passives. Let's try to do damage. Let's try to kill the ads. Ads are dead. Lydia again. There's still some time left for the cooldown to be back, which is why I'm not going for the new blessed bashes just yet. I'll wait on it a little bit more. Now next turn it will be back. So next turn I'm basically ready to go for those abilities. So you have to be really careful. This is basically suffering from success, having so much damage that this becomes an issue. And now I will just try to smack Newts once they get their turn. Will finish the job. That's Newt number 1. And Newt number 2 should come in. Okay, Acrasia comes in. Does even more damage. And the cooldown is back. And now Newt number 2 will finish the job. And then now Lydia will block revive. There you go. Very important thing to watch out for, because otherwise, if you're killing him too fast, Lydia is not going to be doing her thing. Now, this is a team that I use now, and I am out of keys. So I think I ran multi battles quite a few times. So the team that I used to use, unfortunately, won't be able to showcase, but I can talk about it. So you can keep in Lydia, obviously, but instead of these champions, what you would do is you would bring in one nuker to clear the waves. That can be Thor, for example. You will bring in Geomancer, who is a great champion to put the burn on the boss and then slowly kill him through that, and as well as keep the burn on while you basically kill him so he doesn't revive. That's another strategy. And other than that, you need a cleanser and you need a healer. So, for example, something like this is what I would be using, and then I would bring in Python, for example, as a reviver in case they die, in case I need to cleanse. Build your revivers and your cleansers with high resistance. This boss needs a lot of accuracy as well, so I would very often use Mithrala as the accuracy lead in order to do this fight. So this would kind of be my team, and this used to work really well. Again, I used to manual this fight because it's once a month. But yeah, that's the team so far. The current team obviously works much faster because of all these champions. The previous team was a bit slower. Let me see if somebody has. No, I mean everybody is using the OP champions because they have them available. But yeah, that's the team that I used for all of the stages or all of the bosses on the hard Doom Tower for this particular rotation. I can share the champion builds as well of all the champions that I did showcase. Lydia is in a 9-piece protection set. I do use her in the Hydra, I do use her in the Chimera currently. That's why she's built like that. Again, if you are an early game or a mid game account watching this video, go for the team and whatever build you can achieve. My builds are going to look crazy. They're going to look like stats you can never achieve. You will, with the amount of time that you spend in the game, if you've been playing for long enough. Whatever stats you can achieve, just go with them. Keep the team composition, the whole methodology behind it, keep that the same, and then you'll be fine. So Lydia, what you're looking for to build is very high speed and survivability and the right accuracy. That's all you need to build. Again, you will be struggling with accuracy for her, so using that aura for Mithrala will help significantly to bring her up. And in the Frost Spider space, for example, you don't even need to necessarily land the defense down on the boss, but on the ads, on the waves, you should be fine with around 300-ish accuracy. Marius, in my current build, is in a 9-piece Merciless. These are the stats on him. There are a lot of champions I'm going to go through a little bit faster. I forgot to showcase the masteries. On Lydia, War Master is a tier 6. Cruelty, and this relic for the Chimera. Marius is having Cat's Gaze, Crushing Rend, and Helm Smasher. Note has a Giant Slayer, Soul Reap, No Relic, and Lethal with these stats. Then we have a Crizia with 9-piece Merciless, which in my opinion is the best build for her. If you're using her in Relentless, you're doing something wrong. Change her out. I have a dedicated video for that. Do try to watch that video on my channel for why this build works. And yes, she's wearing crit trade gloves. I know that's taboo, but she is. And that's one of the tricks to make this work. So 9-piece Merciless, and these are her stats. High speed. She is wearing this relic. I've been experimenting with this. I think that this is actually a decent relic. I have Cruelty on her, and then I have War Master. Note number 2 is basically identical. Mithrala has Giant Slayer, not Giant Slayer, War Master. Cruelty, no relic, and 9-piece protection. Again, I do use her sometimes in the Hydra, and protection is a very good set for her considering the amount of buffs that she has. These are the stats: very high speed, high defense, high survivability, and high accuracy, obviously. Then Arbiter is a 9-piece supersonic. She has just speed as high as you can get. This is for the arena. This is my Arbiter with 363 speed. The relic is this one, Journal of Necrotos, which is very good as well. Intimidating presence at a 5-star, and then this blessing, which helps with the revival. Thor is in Helm Smasher, Nature's Wrath, because he's 5-star. I will switch him to Crushing Rend once I have the 6-star blessing. Gore Crescent, I think, is a very good relic on him. And then I have him in 9-piece Merciless as well with these stats. Varl is in a lethal set and a couple of pieces of Merciless dropped in there. These are the stats. I do use him in the Hydra. He's one of the best damage dealers in the Hydra. And Area 3 Coronet is a great relic for him. It basically elevates his passive significantly, and Nature's Wrath on the 5-star, and Helm Smasher. Septimus is in a Destroy set, as I said. Giant's War Master on the tier 6. Crushing Run, I don't know why I have Crushing Run. I should switch that out, mostly because I was using him to hit just once, I guess, or twice in the case of 5-star. No Relic, and the Destroy set with total stats ramping up to these numbers. Toragi is in a Bolster set, an Immortal with these stats: high HP, high accuracy, and good resistance if you can afford it. No Relic, Emergency Heal with a Blood Shield accessory is actually a very nice for him. And then Eagle Eye on the tier 6 to get his accuracy up. Elhain, Supreme Elhain is my primary nuker. I'm lucky enough to get the 6-star soul for her. And this is 9-piece Merciless again with these stats: 6-star Crushing Rend and Helm Smasher. Pythian is wearing a 9-piece protection once again with high speed, high resistance, accuracy is not needed, and high survivability. No Relic, Miracle Heal. I think it's useful in one of the Sand Devil stages on the Curse City. And then Giant Slayer or War Master as well. Geomancer is in high speed reflex set, very high speed and very high accuracy to be able to land that HP burn. No Relic, Cruelty on the 6-star, and then also War Master. I think that's all the champions. So it's a bit of a long one. I hope this is useful for some of you going through the Doom Tower. Let me know in the comments if you want to look into a bit more detail on some of these champions as well as some of these boss mechanics, and I'm happy to do so. Let me know also if you would like to see a similar version of this for the other Doom Tower rotations, and yeah, that would be something that I can look at. But thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.